All right. So I'll just take my leave, and you are in brilliant hands. Mardiya is, amazing. So please, over to you, Mardiya.
Hi, Mardiya.
Thank you. Hello, Mandy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are
I'm good,
you?
apart from a few tech problems.
Yes, Sabine briefed me. That is also
Yeah.
fine. Yes, so we would start the session, and thank you for joining us today. And I'm really, really excited to meet you. Meet you, that is.
Thank you.
So to give a brief context on who Mandy is an award-winning philanthropist, a community consultant, and a global campaigner. With over 3 decades of experience, Mandy is an expert in various development-related fields. She has been driving innovation, building strategic partnerships, promoting advocacy, and programming in the areas of human rights, gender equality, accountability, and social justice globally. Mandy has helped hundreds of individuals and now reaches thousands through social media and her generous amounts of worldwide TV appearances and public speaking engagements, and one of which is this one. Thank you, Mandy, for joining us once again.
Thank you.
So we have all seen your amazing work, but tell us how it started.
It started like 30 years ago, where I wanted to support somebody who was a victim of source. Sorry, I keep hearing my own voice, and there is some sound issue. Sorry. I'm just trying to. Is that sound coming?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What it is, I keep hearing my own voice back.
Yes, I can hear the echo, but I can hear you. That's fine. Just keep going.
I thought there was a sound. Okay, sorry about that. So it started over 30 years ago, where I had a friend that had a disability. She was a victim of an early child forced marriage, and I wanted to support her. And then I realized there was things happening in the UK that were not right, and there was harmful cultural practices. And I started campaigning to address those issues. And that's how I started over 30 years ago as a young person. And I'm here now, like over 30 years, campaigning and doing the same work, but it's been a great life, and I've been very honored and privileged.
Amazing and a powerful start. Thank you so much, Mandy. So you're famous for your efforts to up from sticky floors. Tell us what that means, and also some of the memorable moments that you can say is so worthwhile.
Okay. So to me, I became known as a woman lifting the next generation off the sticky floor, because what I realized was a lot of young people were facing a lot of inequalities, and there was a lot of social, economic barriers stopping people smashing the glass ceiling. And I wanted to address those issues. And what happened is I started by mentoring and empowering people, because I'm one of the lucky people who have smashed the glass ceiling to become a floor for the next generation. And it's so important that we end up creating real opportunities and making sure that women have a seat at the boardroom. It's important that women of colour, with disability, and LGBTQ have a seat at the table, that we actually look at tackling those issues that are stopping women from reaching the top. So that's what that's all about. So it's me mentoring and pulling people up behind me. So that's where that metaphor came from, about lifting the next generation to sticky floor. Sorry, I can't hear you.
Most memorable moments, and you'd say this is worthwhile.
I mean, I've had a great life, and I feel very privileged and very lucky. I mean, I've spoken in House of Representatives and Congress for 3 times. I've been invited again, but obviously I can't because of COVID. Spoken at the World Economic Forum in Davos. I've been invited to Buckingham Palace, and I've, the Queen, and I've been to Prince Charles's birthdays, and I've been, so many amazing things have happened in my life. But I feel one of the things is being one of the founders of the UK Forced Marriage Unit, setting that up 15 years ago, and it still has a legacy, and it's, I feel something I'm very proud of.
Amazing. what are some of the barriers to women's empowerment, and how does that impact us as a society?
So there's a lot of issues where women don't get a seat at the table. People are, kind of discriminated against, and there's like unconscious biases. And it's about addressing those issues. And also there's been a lot of inequalities. And I think COVID, the pandemic, has brought those things to the surface like never before. And I feel like we need to address them, we need to learn lessons and make sure that no one is left behind. And I feel like people like myself who have done well in their life, that you pay it forward, you help other people, and you become the change you want to see in the world.
That is very powerful. And I'm going to take like a few notes from what you just said.
That's fine.
So how can women and girls enter the field of advocacy? Are there some things we need to be mindful of?
I mean, it's not easy, is it? I mean, it's a very difficult sector to stand up and talk about issues. So just this week, I was talking about violence in India, and I was talking about crimes against the Dalit community, the lower caste, and the people known as the untouchables. And I was told by people to say, well, you belong to the upper class and you're wealthy. Why are you helping the poor? And I was saying, well, we want to be the change we want to see. And if people like myself, who are a leading voice, and my voice has power and influence, why am I not standing up for the injustices and the wrong things? So I think that you need to be fearless. You've got to stand up for what you believe in and be led by your moral compass and not your ego. I mean, we belong to one race, don't we?
The current project. We belong to one race.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't get what you said.
I said we belong to one race.
Expound on that.
Sorry. We belong to one race. It's called human. And you know what? We should not be looking at people's religion and ethnicity and look at gender. We should look at people as a human being, and that should be the first thing that you address. I think that is what drives me, that I don't care that somebody's African or somebody is Asian or somebody is white or disabled, gay or whatever. I really don't care.
You just look at them as humans, and that's what's very important. Yeah. So what are some of the current projects you're working on?
So I've been doing some work on migration. It's about looking at people from Syria that are coming in and resettling into the UK, addressing those issues. I'm doing a lot of work about empowering the next generation. I do a lot of hacks and lots of events. I'm looking at tackling gender equality, and I'm involved with global organizations like the UN and like Mastercard, World Bank, and making sure that we're addressing all of the SDGs. So I've been quite busy considering we're in a lockdown and I'm not traveling as much. Sorry, I was just saying, like, I'm at the moment during a pandemic, I've been stuck in the UK and I'm not traveling as much, but actually I'm still doing everything online. I've moved everything online, and I'm continuing to do events online, whether it's with the UN, whether it's with Mastercard, the World Bank, or anybody else. And I feel like it's really important that I continue to use my voice and continue doing the advocacy work that I do.
And how has the online, like, how has moving that transition online affected you, or how has it like helped you?
It's made me more busier. I think like I've been quite lucky because everything I was going to do, I've honored it and done it in person online. And I'm more busier than ever. I'm actually doing more events actually than I would have done in person.
So would you say that this is like better for like advocacy?
I think it's good for my carbon footprint. That's the good thing. I'm doing my bit for climate justice. But no, I feel like I've been quite lucky in the fact that actually I'm creating a lot of platforms. I'm bringing different people to the table. I'm helping people to develop their social networks, their capital. And I think like you just learn to adapt and be innovative and creative.
That is true. Yeah. So what does an empowered society mean to you, and what would that look like?
Where everyone is equal. Everyone is equal. And that we don't have to tackle inequalities all the time, and that you're fighting to be heard.
So a world where there are no margins, if I
Yeah.
understand. That is really
Yeah.
amazing. Thank you, Mandy. Any last words for us
All I
and
would say
everybody
is,
watching?
well, what I would say is that this global pandemic has equalized the world, that this COVID has shown you that it doesn't discriminate. I know that people from the Black and Asian communities are dying quicker, and there are good numbers in the UK. It's because they're working on the front line, they're working in medicine, they work in the shops. But what we're trying to do is make sure that no one is left behind, that we actually empower people and we help women to come back to work. Because at the moment they're juggling, caring, sharing, teaching, and all those different things. And it's really important that we address those issues. And all I would say is, if you're in a position of power or able to help another young person, then you have a responsibility to do that and make sure that no one is left behind.
Thank you so much. And I hope everybody listening from your amazing experience and advice.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us, Mandy. And this would be the end. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks. Bye-bye.